Allison from Starliner Music. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to continue with my series entitled Fingerboard Geometry. We'll be looking at diminished triads on strings 1, 2, and 3. First we'll look at some fingerings and then we'll do some exercises. Here we go. I hope you enjoy it. Alright, today in fingerboard geometry we'll be looking at diminished triads played as chords on strings 1, 2, and 3. So we have 3 inversions of these triads, and once we go over the fingerings for them, we'll review major and minor triads on this string set as well. We'll be creating some harmonized scale exercises. Let's cover the diminished fingerings first though. In review, a diminished triad consists of the root, the minor third, and the diminished fifth. So for C, for instance, we have the root here, C, and then the minor third, and then the flat 5 or the diminished fifth. So that is a C diminished chord in root position. If we put the third in the bass, that is first inversion, and that looks like this. So this would be minor third, and then we have the flat 5 and the root. And then finally, if we go over here, we have the flat 5, that's G flat, and then the root C, and then the flat 3, again E flat. So the flat 5 is in the bottom. This is second inversion. Let's look at fingerings now on a different root. Let's try F. So if I do F diminished, I'm going to start down here at the nut. So I have minor third, flat 5, and then the root F. So this is F diminished in first inversion. And the second inversion of F diminished is like this. So we have flat 5 root and flat 3. And then the root position F looks like this. Root, minor third, and flat 5. And then in case you want to try that again up here, where it's not open, we have again minor third, flat 5, and root. And then let's do one more. So we have G. I'm going to start here, and again we're starting with the first inversion G, and we have the minor third, the flatted 5, and the root here, and then the next inversion has the flatted 5 in the bottom, and then the root, the minor third, and then finally for root position, here's G, and it's minor third, and it's diminished fifth, so this is root position G diminished. Now that we've looked at diminished triad inversions, let's go on to harmonized scale exercises. So before I go through these exercises, I would suggest that you review major and minor triad inversions on this string set. I've already made a video for that, so it might be helpful to watch those videos and just review. I'm going to start with root position triads in the key of C, and I'm going to start on a C chord, that's the 1. And so I'm going to walk up the scale, so the 1 chord being C in root position. All of these triads will be in root position in this example. So this is the 1 chord, and then the 2 chord is minor, and that's D minor, and then the 3 chord is minor, that's E minor, and the 4 chord is major, it's F major, 5 chord is major, that's G major, the 6 chord is minor, that's A minor, and the diminished chord is B diminished, and then I'm going to go back to C here, an octave higher. So that is the C harmonized scale in root position. Now for a first inversion example. Okay, on to first inversion triads. First inversion chords have the third in the bottom, so the note order is third, and then fifth, and then root on the top. So all of these are first inversion triads. We're going to start on a G chord. This is going to be our tonic or our root. So G is 1, A minor is 2, B minor is 3, C is 4, D is 5, E minor is 6, F sharp diminished is 7, and then back to the octave higher on G, and that is the G harmonized scale. We have one more example in second inversion. Alright, now for second inversion triads. A second inversion triad has the fifth as the lowest note. So this is a D chord, and the notes are the fifth, the root, and the third. And in the key of D, this is the 1 chord. And the 2 chord is E minor. 3 chord is F sharp minor. The 4 chord is G. The 5 chord is A. The 6 chord is B minor. The 7th chord is C sharp diminished. And finally, we're back to the D chord again. Now, let's get a look at what we're going to do for the exercises. I'm going to demonstrate this exercise in a couple of keys when I go to the playing example. What we're going to do is start somewhere around the nut in the first few frets, and we're going to play a harmonized scale for the selected key, and we're going to play all the inversions from right here on the neck up. So that means we probably won't always start on the 1 chord. Let's go through the key of B flat. So if I'm in B flat, I can start on the 1 chord in root position. So first of all, I would play up the B flat scale with root position triad, so that it would look like this. 1, that's B flat. 2, C minor. 3 is D minor. 4 is E flat. 5 is F. 6 is G minor. 7 is A diminished. And then I'm back to B flat again. Now, if I were going to start at the first fret area in the key of B flat, the chord that's found here in first inversion is actually an F chord. This is the 5. So now I'm going to be playing first inversion chords in the same key. I'm going to start on the 5 chord though, so if I start on the F, that's 5. The next chord would be the 6th chord, that's G minor. And then I have A diminished, that's 7. Now I'm at the 1, B flat, C minor's 2, D minor's 3, E flat is 4, and then I'm back to 5. Finally, we're going to cycle back around to the nut area and start with second inversion triads. Now, I have to kind of find what second inversion triad will work here. D minor is what I'm calculating, will work well within the first few frets. This is an A note, and it's in the key. So I have to figure out, well, if this A is in the key, it's the 5 of what? Well, A is the 5 of D, and so that would create a D minor triad in this key because the D chord is minor in the key of B flat. So I'm going to start on D minor. That's my 3 chord. And then I will go to the 4 chord. That's going to be E flat. And then the 5 chord is F. 6 chord is G minor. The 7th chord is A diminished. The 1 chord is B flat. And the 2 chord is C minor. And then we're back to the 3 chord D minor. So I've performed this exercise on a couple of keys. Let's get a look. That's it for Diminished Triads on strings 1, 2, and 3. I'm Kimberly Allison from Starliner Music, and I hope to see you back on my channel soon. That's it for caged bar chords with the 1 chord in the D form. I'm Kimberly Allison from Starliner Music, and I hope to see you back on my channel soon.